If you are a fan of softball, then you are going to love the Fastpitch TV show. We're bringing you more interviews, more videos, and more product reviews than anyone else on the planet. Sit back and get ready. Here's the Fastpitch TV show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fastpitch TV show. Now if you found our show on Facebook, YouTube, or another video sharing site, please check out our website, fastpitch.tv. It's the place to find all of our past episodes and the place to keep up with our future episodes too. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Softball Junk, and visit their website at softballjunk.com. Now for most of this year, I've been bringing you clinics from Softball Con. It was a great conference. Go to their website, softballcon.net, and check it out. And this week, I'm bringing you the fourth part of a clinic by India Chiles. Indiana is a left-handed slapping specialist. Now, check out episode 158 if you haven't seen any of these yet in the series. There's 4 in the series. And we'll go right to that clinic right after a word from our sponsor.
Do you need a softball bat? Do you want to save $30? SoftballJunk.com is offering an additional $30 discount off the price of all non-sale softball bats on their website. That's right, $30. So the next time you buy a bat, go to softballjunk.com and enter the code FPTV30 during checkout. And wham! You just put a cool $30 in your pocket.
In college, we did what we wanted to do. If we ever were uncertain, then we would look down the first baseline to Karen and she would say, you know, she'd give us a little signal of what she would do. But that wasn't telling me what to do per se. Now the bunting, a lot of times, our third base coach would give us a signal there. But it was up to us if we wanted to do a sack bunt or do the run and bunt. Now as we practiced so much, we hardly ever did a sack bunt because that became the awkward thing for us to do. We were a lot more comfortable with the run and bunt. And as slappers, they really shouldn't be sacrifice bunting anymore. They've added to that element of their game. With the sack bunt, you're giving yourself away to move the runner. With the drag bunt, you're moving the runner and putting yourself on base. So, it depends. I train all of my kids for that now, depending on the coach. Some coaches don't feel like their players are there yet, so they control their slap game. And it's a long ways coming to teach kids to have that mental part of the game, to actually stand outside of the box, who's paid attention to shortstop's arms and how quick third base is and things like that. To pay attention to all of that. So really that should be something that you practice in off season when you get to scrimmage. I think maybe even the beginning of the season. If they don't do a good job, then I would take over and give them a sign. But as they get better, then as female athletes, we have to feel good to play good. If my hard slap was pretty crappy in my warm-up, and it's a crucial part of the game, and you told me to hard slap, you know, I may get a little tense with that, you know. So a lot of times I would like, and I think everyone should train their slappers to control their offense. So, but it depends. I'd say probably most. I probably wouldn't let them control their offense until they get really good at it. Any other questions at this point?
One of the hardest things I have with new slappers is timing, when to start their footwork and stuff. What do you teach on that?
Not to start until the ball is released from the pitcher's hand. And it's the same with the machine. They shouldn't start until after. Now a changeup is going to be hard, but really with me as a stand-up hitter, it's no harder to hit a changeup as a stand-up hitter than with me running at the pitch. Because if I don't start until after it's released, then I should see that ball coming out a lot slower. It may mess up, you know, my speed to first, because a lot of times I'm going to have to kind of pause here for a little longer and keep my hands inside so I don't jump out in front. But they have to learn not to start until after the pitch is released from the pitcher's hand. Now, if you're late, you're going to hit left side. When you're jumping out early, you're going to go towards second all day long, which the second baseman can roll over 3 times and still underhand you out at first base. They can't do that on the left side. So it's always better to be late, waiting until the pitch is released.
What do you think is the hardest pitch to hit? A slap.
Teaching the fundamentals that I showed, the inside pitch should be the hardest. And as coaches, if you ever have a kid that looks like this, stepping on a straight line, and is completely opened up, then obviously you should throw her outside all day because she's pulling off the plate. Those kids seem to like to go to right field in the air, which isn't a problem because my right fielder's kind of out of the play whenever there's a slapper up. So we just keep them in like a safety range, just playing midfield straight up. If they want to do that all day, you should be fine. The inside pitch should be the hardest when you learn to stay closed and down and over the plate. Outside pitch looks almost down the middle to me at this point. Down the middle is just fine, but with an inside pitch, what you have to make sure that you do is, yeah, you got to get your hands a little further out in front to make contact, but you still have to make sure that you stay inside the ball so you don't yank it over to the right side. If there's a pitcher that is consistently painting the inside corner, and how they throw one slapper on your team, they tend to throw all of them kind of the same way. If they're painting the inside corner, the easiest thing to do is bunt. It's really easy to get your hands around on an inside pitch there. Really hard to soft slap to the shortstop off an inside pitch. Can you do it? Yes, but it's really hard. So on those days, I would tend to hard slap and bunt and just completely take out my soft slap. I can still hard slap up the middle on an outside or on an inside pitch. And again, you just got to get enough oomph to get it past the pitcher. So, should be the inside pitch. People that like to pull open and rotate out, the outside pitch would be harder. Any other questions? Let's see where I want to go from here. Oh, bunting. We didn't talk about bunting. Okay, so bunting, I'm really hard on my kids with their bunts because a good bunter should be safe at least 96, 97% of the time. You should not get thrown out on your bunts. But the good bunter makes contact off the end of the bat. So a lot of times when my kids that come and they tell me they know how to bunt, but that's about it, and they go up all day long and they're squaring around really low on the bat first off, okay? So here's my philosophy with bunting. Sack bunt, just square around, put the ball on the ground. When we're drag bunting, we're trying to get a base hit, so we need to bunt off of the end of the bat where it's dead. So like on this bat, S and higher is where my kids are allowed to work. Can you see that? So the easiest way for me to learn to bunt off the end of the bat, and this was to choke up one to shorten my bat. And I did it for 3 years, and no one knew what I was doing. So I always tell my kids, you know, nobody's really paying attention to how much you choke up. But when I hard slap, my hands are really low. And when I'm going to bunt, my hands are a lot higher. The only person I knew was Tanya Callahan, and the only time she wasn't my teammate was in the pros. So, and she threw me out all day long when I would bunt. But choking up on the bat and then sliding your top hand really high on the bat. We're never going to bunt in between our hands, right? So the higher I get my top hand, the more I'm shortening my back, the more I'm increasing my chance of bunting it on the end. So as a hitter, I'm always going to try to protect my fingers, protect my hand by sliding to make contact further away from my fingers. So the higher that they can learn to get this top hand, the more likely they will bunt off the end of the bat. But most kids either want to bunt with their hands together, which Casey likes to do, or they don't get their top hand long enough, so they're leaving too much room for error. Easiest way. And so with the bunt game, also putting in your balls square in the middle. A lot of teams don't want their pitchers having to worry about bunts. They want their corners really aggressive going after them. So if we put it in the middle, that's a big communication zone. Somebody's got to call that ball, and also we're pulling our corners in vertically and across the infield. So we're making them move as much as possible. The other area is going towards first base here. So middle in is where I would like to place my bunts. This corner at third base tends to get a lot more balls than the first base corner. And a lot of times we can catch first sleeping. And also when we're slapping, we're kind of running over that pitch. So it's very likely we'll increase our chance of being on, we'll say it that way. So I teach my kids, get your bunch right in the middle. A little bit more bad angle will get it going up towards first baseman. Don't try first base line because you don't want to waste a good bunt foul. But either up the middle or going towards the first base side. Now when you're bunting, you got to go back into that speed game, fast, aggressive crossover step there. Your soft slap time should not be very different. If you're running a 2-6 on a soft slap, you should run 2-6, 2-7 on a bunt. Hard slap, if you run 2.6 on the soft slap, hard slap maybe 2.8, 2.9, because it's more of a power approach. It's about landing this foot hard, getting a full swing in before your third foot lands. The quicker you are with your hard slap and your footwork, so if I'm going too fast, remember full swing before my third foot lands. So if I'm going too fast, I'm really going to shorten my swing, which is going to take away from my power because I'm getting to this foot too fast.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. I said it was fourth part and the last part of India's clinic. I think it's one of the better clinics that we've had on the show. If you know any slappers, please tell them about this clinic. They're going to enjoy it. Now, if you have an iPhone or an iPod, please check out the Fastpitch TV show app. Just go to your phone's app store and search softball. Don't forget to check out our website, fastpitch.tv. Become a fan of the show on Facebook, facebook.com/fastpitchtv, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/fastpitchtv. Now, I'm going to be at the World Series this weekend, so if you see me, say hi to me, okay? Thanks for watching.
This show is a member of the Fastpitch TV network.